You hear the words American muscle, and your mind probably jumps straight to the usual suspects: Mustangs, Camaros, Challengers. But what if I told you that some of the most insane V8-powered torque monsters didn't come in coupe form? What if they had a roofline that stretched all the way back, with room for groceries, gear, and maybe even a dog in the back? Welcome to the wild and often overlooked world of American V8 muscle wagons. Yes, wagons. These aren't your grandma's station wagons. These are fire-breathing family haulers that laugh in the face of practicality while laying down rubber. And today, we're diving into the 5 rarest American muscle wagons ever built. Vehicles that combine shocking horsepower with grocery-getting functionality in a way that makes every gearhead ask, why don't we make these anymore? Let's hit the gas. 1994 to 1996, Chevrolet Impala SS Wagon. Concept prototype. Everyone remembers the 94 to 96 Chevy Impala SS sedan, a full-size brute of a car with a 260 horsepower, 5.7-liter LT1 V8 stuffed under the hood. It was a modern nod to muscle in a world that was growing increasingly sterile. But what most people don't know is that Chevrolet toyed with the idea of building a wagon version of this street machine. That's right, the Impala SS Wagon was a prototype that actually made it to the auto show circuit. It had the same dark, sinister looks, the blacked-out grille, the polished 5-spoke wheels, and of course, the rumbling small-block V8. The idea was genius. Take the performance of the Impala SS sedan and combine it with the practicality of the Caprice wagon. Boom! Muscle family hauler. Unfortunately, GM never gave it the green light. The production numbers? Exactly 0. The prototypes exist in museums or private collections. And if you ever see one at a car show, stop what you're doing and soak it in. It's a true unicorn of American performance history. It had everything going for it, except timing. 1964, Pontiac Tempest Le Mans Safari with the GTO engine. When people talk about the start of the muscle car era, the 1964 Pontiac GTO always enters the conversation. But here's a twist almost no one talks about. You could get that legendary 389 V8 engine in a station wagon. Back then, options were far more flexible. Dealers and customers could spec vehicles with unusual combinations, and some savvy buyers or dealers figured out how to get a GTO spec 389 cubic inch engine, especially the tri-power version, into the Pontiac Tempest Le Mans Safari Wagon. That meant a long roof wagon with over 340 horsepower and enough torque to turn the rear tires into smoke. These wagons were built in ultra-low numbers, most likely less than a few dozen, because they required special ordering and often weren't officially documented as GTO wagons. But enthusiasts and historians have confirmed their existence, with several surviving examples found today in collections and barn finds. What makes this wagon so cool is that it represents the sleeper mentality of early muscle cars. From the outside, it looked like a family grocery getter, but under the hood, it was packing the same punch that launched the muscle car revolution. Talk about rare muscles. 1970 Oldsmobile Vista, Cruiser 442 Wagon. Now this one is peak 1970s, American excess, and it's glorious. Most people know the Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser as the long roof star of that 70s show. It was the classic family ride with those cool skylight windows and enough space to carry half the neighborhood. But what most people don't know is that a few Vista Cruiser wagons were built with 442 level performance. Let that sink in, a 442 muscle wagon. In 1970, Oldsmobile's 442 package meant serious business. A 455 cubic inch V8 producing 365 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. While the 442 was officially a coupe and convertible, a handful of special order Vista Cruisers were built, either by factory insiders, performance-minded dealers, or through a Copo-style arrangement that featured the same monstrous 455 engine, performance suspension, and even badging. Today, these things are unicorn rare. Only a few verified examples are known to exist, and they're worth serious money to collectors who crave that combination of speed and style that only a muscle wagon can provide. With a long body, rear skylights, and thunderous V8 growl, the Vista Cruiser 442 Wagon is one of the coolest rarities in American muscle history. Can you imagine loading up the kids for soccer practice and beating a Chevelle SS at the lights on the way? That's real power. 2004 to 2007, Dodge Magnum SRT8 jump forward a few decades, and Dodge did something nobody expected. They brought the muscle wagon back. Enter the Dodge Magnum SRT8, a factory-built American muscle wagon that didn't care about subtlety. It was angry, loud, and absolutely unapologetic. Under the hood, a 6.1-liter Hemi 5.8 pushing 425 horsepower, mated to a 5-speed auto-stick transmission and rear-wheel drive. This thing was a family car with burnout capability. It could go from 0 to 60 in just 5.1 seconds, a number that rivaled sports cars of its time, and it had that unmistakable deep Hemi growl. The SRT8 version of the Magnum was only produced from 2006 to 2008, with just over 4,000 units built in total. That makes it one of the rarest modern muscle wagons in existence. And get this, it had Brembo brakes, a performance-tuned suspension, and aggressive styling that still turns heads today. Sadly, the Magnum as a whole was killed off in 2008, just as the muscle wagon was finding its groove again. But for those few who got their hands on an SRT8, they own a piece of history, one of the last real V8-powered American wagons ever made. 1991 GMC Cyclone Typhoon Safari, dealer custom builds. This one's a bit of a curveball, but it belongs on this list. Everyone knows about the GMC Cyclone and Typhoon, the turbocharged monsters that embarrassed Ferraris in the early 90s. But what very few people know is that a small number of dealer custom wagons were built, combining the performance of these turbo beasts with the utility of a wagon body. Some of these custom builds started life as GMC Safari vans, or even wagons based on the S15 platform. Dealers and private shops got creative, taking the drivetrain of a Cyclone or Typhoon, specifically the 4.3-liter turbocharged V6, making 280 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque, and dropping it into a wagon shell. The result? A stealthy all-wheel drive muscle wagon that could hit 60 miles per hour in under 5 seconds, while still hauling your camping gear. These builds were never officially sanctioned by GM, but they were done in such low numbers and with such clean execution that they've become urban legends among car collectors. Spotting one today is like spotting Bigfoot, but with a boost. The muscle wagons that never should have worked, but did. When we think about muscle cars, we rarely picture wagons, but maybe we should. These 5 rare machines prove that performance and practicality can absolutely coexist. Whether it was Pontiac sneaking GTO power into the back of a Le Mans Safari, Dodge building a modern bruiser with the Magnum SRT8, or Chevrolet dreaming of a world where Impala SS wagons ruled the streets, these vehicles didn't just break the mold, they burned it down. The tragedy? So many of these wagons were built in such limited numbers that they're virtually extinct today. Collectors hunt them down. Enthusiasts dream about them. And car fans everywhere wonder, why did this era end? Maybe it's time for a comeback. With EVs taking over and crossovers crowding the roads, wouldn't it be refreshing to see an electric Mustang wagon with Mach-E performance? Or a wide-body Hellcat hybrid hauler? Hey, car companies, if you're listening, we don't want another bland SUV. Give us back the V8 wagon. The streets are waiting. Which one of these rare muscle wagons would you want in your garage? Drop your dream in the comments. Would you take the Vista Cruiser 442 or go all in on the Hemi-powered Magnum? Let's talk about the coolest long roofs to ever wear a V8 badge. And if you love deep dives like this into forgotten American horsepower, hit that like button and subscribe for more rare rides, crazy prototypes, and insane automotive history they never taught in car school.